Welcome every single buddy to the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Bitcoin 123K. Are you kidding me? We're millionaires. Let's go to the upside. Let's go. Up only. Bitcoin. Wow. I mean, what can I say? I got the Bitcoin tie on, the original Bitcoin tie. The first one we ever had on the show when we first believed back, I don't know, $6,000, $10,000, $14,000 Bitcoin. I don't even know when it was when I first put this tie on. If someone could find the first stream I put this tie on, that would be amazing. I don't know if that's even possible. You'd have to click for life. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Let's go, baby. Bitcoin's at an all-time high. We've never been so rich in our entire lives if you've been doing what I've been doing. If you listen to the strategies, if you bought BTC every single time that I did, you bought the lows. You bought the greatest prices ever. You bought 84K, 76K, 77, 81,000. You are in the money like you wouldn't believe. I'm getting messages from people saying, I just got a message this morning. A couple I know. We just finally hit the $1 million mark. We're millionaires. God bless you, Sam. Can't wait. Can't share this with many people, but I want to share it with you, you know. So many people share their life stories with me, their ups and downs with me, and I do the same. I'm in this flag here to the upside. Looks like Bitcoin could bounce on the 1 hour time frame out this flag. The target could take you to $126,000. So right now there's an entry. Stop loss is at 120,285. And the take profit's 126,784. It's a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio for sure. Everything's looking good. We got the 21, right? 1 hour time frame reset. Hey, maybe it double tops and comes up. Maybe it cat ears. We don't know what's going to happen for sure. But I'm bullish for Bitcoin. So I start off the stream nice enough to show you exactly what I'm doing here, what time frame, how I'm setting up the trade, what my risk is, and what platform I'm using weeks. So I'm ready to go. Shout out to everybody that trades with the lifer. If you want to sign up to any of the links that I got, jump on in today. I would greatly appreciate it. It would be very, very nice. The links are here. Weeks, we have BitTinex, we have BTCC. We're going to look at BTCC and see if there's a trade out on the NASDAQ, right? We haven't traded the NASDAQ in a while. What are they doing to me here on the NASDAQ? Let's take a look at what's happening here on BTCC. And we're going to add MAs, moving average. And all I got to see is these two moving averages. And I'm in there like swimmer. I could also add a stochastics RSI. Type in RSI, and then you hit stochastics RSI. Bang. That's really all I need to trade are two moving averages and the stochastics RSI. I realized that's my bread and butter. So look, we got ourselves at a bit of a flag here too that could break to the upside. NASDAQ looking like it may get a move. Bullish, right? The big beautiful bill, money pouring in. Talks of Jerome Powell getting canned, which is funny to me. I say he does. I say something happens where he gets canned. Trump seems to always get his way in the back somehow, some way. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not even like. There's some things that, right? Most of us are like, the list never came. I get it. I'm with a lot of people here. We're in the middle now. We're not sure what's going on, right? But that's why you never blindly, you just, Bitcoin, baby. Blockchain party, right? We want our own party. The blockchain party. Sam Price for president. I will lead us to greatness. We can do this. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. So can we get tight inside the end of this channel? Make a move to the upside on the NASDAQ. I haven't traded it in a while. The trade would be 23,116. My stop loss would be below there at 22,911. Ooh, spicy, right? And let's take a look here. You hit advanced, it will tell you the trade. 286.97, that ain't bad. 163 for 480, not bad. I'm willing to take it. High on the stochastics RSI. I'd like it to come down first, but I'm feeling antsy to trade today. I don't know why. Maybe I should calm down a little bit. Lack of sleep, something. We're going along on Bitcoin. When we haven't reclaimed the session POC yet, wouldn't a better entry be to retrace back to the value area low? We're going to take a look at the long-term analysis, and you may be 100%. We're going to take a look. Yeah. I mean, technically, yes, but you're in a very, 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 what I call lustry market, right? Things are a busty market. I don't know what you would, just things are hot, right? The market is overflowing. It's foaming. It's foaming at the mouth over here. So I'm going to take this trade here on the NASDAQ. I am. Oh, my God. The second I said that, look at them. So I'm in the trade here on the NASDAQ. 170, 158 for 430. Not the, a little underneath my threshold, but I like it. We did get a breakout too. I technically limped in on a breakout. But let's see. I like this flag. NASDAQ looking interesting. Let's see if Bitcoin can follow up. So there's a live trade here on the NASDAQ. I trade the NASDAQ here on BTC.C, on Tech 100. You can also trade Tesla, Apple, Amazon. Can you believe that? Anything. Gold, right? Can you trade silver? They got silver too. Silver's been hot. And I'm going to talk about a strategy I got cooking right now for silver. Silver, right? $38 an ounce. This thing has been out of control when you really look at it. Look at this thing. And it just broke out of a flag to the upside. So what am I doing? Well, I'm going to start allocating. So when I have profits, I'm going to move some of those profits of Tether to Kinesis. What is Kinesis? Kinesis is a new, I've been working with Kinesis, number one. Beautiful, beautiful, cool, awesome people. So Kinesis is awesome. They decided to sponsor the channel, so I'm working with them. They are a channel sponsor. Welcome into the fold, Kinesis. I only work with things that I really, really like. So check this out. You can send Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stuff here. So here you can swing trade back and forth into gold, silver, other things. You can also get yield, which we're going to talk about later on as you look at it, but you can get yield for your tokens. There's minters, holders, and referrers. When you hold the token, right, there's yield, and there's monthly yields to receive dates. So now if your gold's sitting there and you're not doing anything, you can literally ship your gold to them. You know, some people are like, but you can. I mean, they'll log every ounce that you sent, perfectly done, bum, 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 and then you'll have it here. Here I have some Tether, right? And I was going to buy gold, but I'm like, you know what? I have to be honest. I'm kind of like an altcoin guy. And so let's take a look at what's happening here. And I'm going to show you something. So let's just say I wanted to buy some silver. Like, because I was thinking, silver is going to be hot. And I could start taking some of my profits into silver. Why not? I think that's a pretty dang good idea. The KAG token, right? And so I'm like, all right. So you can go to your crypto, go to your Tether, right? And I can buy silver right now. Max. Okay. And I'm going to be buying silver. Maybe I'll leave a little bit. You never know. There's always like, I was like, just this is how I am when it comes to crypto. So now I'm going to buy some silver on Kinesis. All right. Order is placed. Total buy 37 KAG. Right. So now I'm stacking silver now, and I'm stacking digital silver. But I could get the silver at any moment. I can ask for the silver to be delivered. There's physical silver backing everything here. Physical gold backing everything here. I went through it. I like the company. I like what they're doing. And it took me like 6 months from going back and forth. I don't just jump on into partnerships. So shout out to Kinesis. And see how I just bought silver there right here? I sent, what I did is I went to my assets, right? Just like you do, you buy and, you can receive. So I was sending the Tether over here. Once I got the Tether over here, bang. So it makes it pretty easy. You can also buy with a card, all right, if needed. But to me, I like, and you can show you all your transactions, everything you did. Look, I went from USD to K. I'm stacking silver right now in a digital way. I think it's, so anyway, I'm always hedging, always doing my thing. And this is Kinesis. I like it a lot. I just think it's awesome. It does pretty cool. Kinesis. All right. The bot killing it too as well. Doing damage. Look at that, man. Weak sauce, That cat ears, look, cat ears fell to the downside. Couldn't handle the sauce here on that 1 minute time frame. Let's take a look at Bitcoin all the way for the weekly down and do our top down analysis here for Bitcoin. All right. Let's take a look. BTC on the weekly. I like to look at it even on the 2-week chart. That's kind of my go-to, my sly. All right. We double click, remember, we look at just price action, and we take a look at what's happening here for Bitcoin. So the parabolic run, but these always end in some type of blow off top though, right? Like I woulda, shoulda, coulda sold the top. It's always a lot of hurt people at the end. I mean, that could be a blow off top for Bitcoin, 168,000, 160K, right? And then I just don't see how that doesn't come back down to your 618 at least. And that tells me $110,000 BTC. So these could be the levels we come back to technically after a massive, massive rally. You know, could it be the whole thing and we come all the way back down to 72,000? I was suggesting 89 could be the bear market lows. You know, cracking 100K would really get people freaked out, right? So we got to, you know, again, everyone wants to think it's a never-ending cycle. 12 to 18 months from the halving is usually the end of the cycle. So we're about 15 months, right, after the cycle now. April, May, June, halfway through July, and a year on top, right? So yeah, about 15 and a half months. Something you have to consider for Bitcoin. So the 2-week chart looking like it could continue, ready to rock. Stochastics look good to me. RSI's even in a bit of a bull pennant. You can put the RSI in a pattern. A lot of times I've seen it play out. It's pretty awesome. But that's a bull pennant on the RSI. MACD turning too as well. This is looking hot. So you do whatever makes you happy, but that looks pretty cool to me. And boom, we boom all the way up to $170 BTC on the 2-week chart. It's looking like it's very likely the parabola is in place. Everything looking nice. I would like more upward, sideways action, pump, sideways action, and we build up. The more we consolidate on the way up, the better it is for BTC, right? And that's just how it is. Those are the things that I'm looking for. Back to BOOKMAP. Let's just take a look at where the liquidity lies. And we got smoked, 121,150 to the downside. And you knew it was coming if you were chasing. I didn't risk a lot on the trade. Let's see if I'm down 120 on the trade. We made boatloads last night. I made $1,000 in 4 minutes. Last night was crazy. I was up till about 3 in the morning. I didn't fall. I couldn't. I mean, I started trading at about 11, then the price got crazier, 12, 1. Next thing you know, more money, more setups, another flag. Every time I got in, I hit again. So I said, why not keep going? So at this point, it's like, whatever. Go for it one more time, but for very little, right? Let's see. And I'm not out of the trade yet. Let's see. We're still above the 21-day moving average, but we just got Smoke City, right? Down from 800 to the downside for Bitcoin. And, you know, I was looking at it this morning. It is False Move Monday. We were below the 200 moving average multiple times playing with it. And it is Monday. I can't stand trading Mondays. I don't care. It's summer, winter, spring, you name it. Monday always has a false move, fakes you out, doesn't do what it says it's going to do. I don't know what it is. The one thing you know about Monday is it's going to have a false move. So, like, it's guaranteed not to be guaranteed, which is kind of like a guarantee, isn't it? So I normally don't even trade Mondays. There I am again getting sucked in by the bull run, but I'm smart. My wins are big. My losses are small. I'm not going to hedge myself too crazy there. So Bitcoin, you can clearly see that there's support at $109,000. We've cleared it clearly. Nothing really around here. So do we come back and retest? We could. I've seen that happen many times. We can't suggest that oh no, that never happens. That's impossible. I mean, everything is possible, right? So the weekly big breakout, I like where it's going. Let's get this candle to close green and we go from there. Every single week. 5-day chart strong. About to close tonight very, very nicely. Like, you can't beat that. 21-day moving average, not too far from price too, suggesting we still could get expansion. Same with the 3-day chart. That's very nice. I mean, the 21 can get really pulled away from the 200 here and expand. So there's still expansion here. There's still movement. So the 3-day chart is a go-to for me. As I said, the daily looks like it could trend upwards. And what I don't like, there's a little bit of, it's kind of bearish divvy there on the 4-hour. And then the 1-hour too. So this is what I'm looking at. We're going to build a local support and resistance here at about 119.5, right? That's going to be a key zone. And then we're looking for this to make some type of flag before it can break to the upside. Possibly does have to come touch that 21-day moving average. But yeah, I'm still hanging on to a bit of bullishness here just because the bigger time frames aren't that far away from the 21. If they were really far from the 21, I would suggest that we were going to come down with a vengeance. And we still may. This could turn into some type of head and shoulder pattern. I know that we're getting extended. So the odds of the longs, every time you get higher and higher and more into the premium, the odds of your long winning are getting lower and lower, right? Every time you get lower into the discount, the odds of your short are getting lower and lower. The key is to get at the medium point where you could either long or short and figure out high probability ideas and go at that area. That's what I do. Hitting the equator, so to speak, over and over again and having a pretty high win rate of knowing which way we're going to pump. The win rate is only achieved by showing up every single day, constantly, day in and day out. It does not stop. It's constant. So if you're ready to pull it off and you're ready to show up every single day, then I'm ready to be here and do the same. If you want to walk away, call it a summer, say you're bored when Bitcoin hits an all-time high. Like, it's crazy the Google searches right now. The fact that we have 1,493 people here on the live. Usually this would be out of control, right? All-time high for Bitcoin. The news is quiet. Like, it just seems a bit odd. Don't you get it? But it's a quiet little crypto community. We're the ones getting rich. We're going to be a very small percentage of people because not many people are into crypto. It feels like everybody's in it after you've been in it for a while, but it's just not the case, you know. Someone said there's no such thing as the lucky day if you're there every day, 100%. Fisherman goes out every day. One day he hits big. He got lucky, right? He gets a bunch of fish no one else got. He's so lucky, right? No, the guy shows up every single day. He just was eventually going to hit. It didn't matter, right? Pump token launches today in 1.5 hours. Yeah. Still too many extractors in crypto. So, this is a sketchy business today. Smaller time frames, like my go-to on the 1 minute, lost the 200 moving average. So you're going to have to get back above the 200 on the 1 minute to remain bullish. And you can see it kind of roll over there too. So bearishness on the 1 minute time frame. It's going to test the 5. The 5's now testing the 200 moving average. If the 5 minute loses the 200, we go lower. If the 5 minute can somehow bounce, we go sideways. There's a chance for today to be bullish. The 5 minute holds the key for the next hour or two. 5 minute can come down here and then retest. Let's kind of make a bearish scenario here for Bitcoin on another chart. See if I see something that I normally didn't, pay attention to. Look at that beautiful flag to the upside for Bitcoin. I gave that trade too as well. I gave a bunch of trades this weekend that hit very nicely. Last night I could sit here and just show you guys all the trades we made this weekend. Go to cryptolifer.com. If you missed out, and I was live streaming on both mornings and both nights 4 times this weekend during the pump. No lifers missed the pump. We were on point paying attention. So, yeah, you're away from the 21-day moving average in the 4 and the 3. I suggest, now it's starting to come on down. And you can start making a head and shoulder pattern. What goes up must come down. That was an insane pump. You got to start saying, hey, if I long now and I lose, I'm in the premium. That's okay. Most people made a lot of money in my trading group this weekend. No reason to go hard right now. No reason to go too crazy, in my humble opinion, But like I think I'm even chasing a little bit here, down 140, but it's okay. You never know. We haven't lost the 21-day moving average just yet here on the 1 hour time frame. That was my kind of thesis. I'm going to stick to my plan. The bot even went long. It's crazy, right? It's so funny. The bot, remember when the bot bought the top? Apparently it wasn't the top. It bought the pump, and it knew that it somehow knew. And then it sold too. So crazy. The bot's doing great. So, yeah, that's bearish divergence to me. They don't have to be, this doesn't have to be pointed down. That can be pointed up. That's bearish divergence. The angle's just not the same. It's get you locked in. All right? Angle's not the same, and it's like, yeah, that's all you need. Shout out to everybody here on the live. No, I teach class the last Saturday of every month. Never forget, if you're lost, you don't know what's happening, you really need a refresher. Or you just got to reset in what you're doing. Or you're watching too many YouTubers, you have no clue what's going on. Just hit the QR code, come to class, get yourself situated. We'll set you straight. A lot of people leave that class, and a couple weeks later, they can't believe how much they know what's happening, and it all makes sense to them. So jump on in today, learn what it is to be a lifer, find out why there's an education needed to succeed. I got an education. I didn't just out of nowhere step. Sam Price was a baby. I used to play with little Legos and stuff,
Walsh,
right?
Nick Carter are partners at Castle Island Ventures. All views expressed by them or the guests on this podcast are solely their opinions and
All right, sorry about that. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now that I want to talk about when it comes to just, where we're going.
Listen to what Michael Saylor has to say.
Where we're going physically in the space with Bitcoin. Like it's getting scarce, my friends. It's getting scarce, like scarily scarce, to the point where I'm kind of like hyperventilating how scarce it is. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not a joke anymore. It's Bitcoin, baby. And it's here to stay. Look at this. Public companies are hoarding Bitcoin, and it's just getting started. Blockware Intelligence predicts at least 36 additional public companies will add Bitcoin to the balance sheet by the end of 2025. The forecast aligns with the 120% surge in corporate adoption in 2025 due to strategic treasury diversification. As of July 4th, 2025, between 140 and 180 public companies hold Bitcoin, with high Q2 purchases showing strong demand. Corporate Bitcoin holdings current state as of July 14th, 148 public companies hold crypto. Leading holders include Strategy with 600,000 and Mara with 50,000 BTC. How come Mara stock just does not perform well? What is going on? Holding all that BTC. Mara, what's up? Crazy. This firm says Ethereum can 400 these people cut, right? And Satoshi Nakamoto, $9 to $10 billion away from beating Buffett and Brin. It's pretty crazy. Like the richest man in the world. Eventually, the Bitcoin guy will be the richest man in the world. It'd be kind of crazy, right? I don't think people realize a billionaire nobody knows. Satoshi Nakamoto, right? Isn't it crazy, the whole idea? A large amount of supply, though, that could be released at any time. Makes you wonder, though. Bitcoin. So a bearish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. You can see my indicator called it out too, overbought. And it does suggest we get a bit of a pullback here. I'm stubborn Sammy, and I'll go at those longs until the very end. We did not lose the 21, though. There's still a chance this is a false move, inducing shorts for another pump. Like you could see 126,000 today. I know it's possible. I know some people don't think that's possible at all. It is. It very well is. So let's take a look. Is the worst over today? Did we find our daily bottom? Let's take a look. Let's see if we're getting that bullish divergence on the 1 minute time frame. So far, not perfect. A little bit there. And again, like you say, or like I say, price action does its thing. You can think whatever you want. You can have any assumption or opinion, but until we get above the 200 moving average on that 1 minute, we're likely going to go further to the downside, roll over here for Bitcoin. So right now, on the short term, I'm a little bearish. I'm holding on to some bullishness on the 1 hour time frame, but hey, and we pumped so hard. 123,250 was the high. That's what I saw. Let's take a look. And this will be on Bybit spot. Just take a look at the highest candle right there and snug on there. 123,260 was the high for Bitcoin on Bybit spot. 123,260 last night. It was insane. If you were with me, like today's kind of like we partied all night and now we just kind of lick our wounds, and not even lick our wounds. We count our money. But this morning now we kind of see, okay, the dust is settled, right? It was crazy last night. I'll tell you that. It was crazy. It was crazy. I'm sitting there in the Discord just like, whoa, what's going on here? What are they doing now? And I'm just like, dude. So I put out this call here. I'm like, I can see a right shoulder. Before it happened, I said, look for this right shoulder in a pump to 121,569. We would rip to the upside. Account was flying. Things were crazy. The Solana trade was still pumping. It was insane. That was this morning. And here's one of the trades too. I'm in at 120.77. Next thing I'm out at 122.466. Like that took, I think, under a few minutes, like 5 minutes. I made $1,000. I was like, so I started watching this flag. I saw an Adam and Eve double bottom. I said, that's going to break out to right there, right? That's the target of the Adam and Eve double bottom. You take the neckline, you measure from here to here, you put it out, right? And so I could see it. First, I start with, this is crazy, my succession, right? So if you're in my trading group, I first see us pump, and I begin to build this idea that we're going to go back somewhere to 122,270. So I'm already calling that before it's even there. And I'm starting to show you how we possibly could get there. All right. Then it kind of finagles. Trade goes down. I reset how it's going to go, right? And we can see it's starting to form like this flag. And then we see that rounded bottom. Stop loss does not get hit. We keep it moving. Then I see the Adam and Eve, right? Sol ripped. We talked about Sol being the trade of the week. Then Bitcoin made an even nicer flag, as you can see. Then it started to get real tight. Then I entered this flag on my Maxi account. I got ready, and then it started to break out. And then I watched on the 1 minute as just boom. It was crazy. Crazy. I was in at 121 here, sold at 122,385. I mean, this was nuts. What did I end up? 122,561 I ended up selling. I held on to that puppy and this was 1:27 in the morning last night. I grind to 1:30 on a Sunday. People leave crypto. Brokies, man. That broke mentality is what keeps people broke, right? All Bitcoin holders now in profit. 0% losses on-chain data shows. And then we hit the target right there. Bang. Exactly like it said it would. Can't make this stuff up. Then at 132, the next flag. And we did hit. And then this one hit the target too. Everything played out like it was supposed to. Insane. And then today we start looking at these little flags. Then this flag last night, it dipped a little bit. It did hit 123,200. Somewhere right up here. It dolphin dipped and it did pump. That flag did end up pumping. If you put your stop below there, it did not get stopped out. And the Solana trade continues to rip, right? 164% on weeks, baby. Surfing. So I don't know what to tell you. We're just banging on them. We're doing what we do. But wow, yeah, nasty dump for Bitcoin. Losing that 200 moving average on the 1 minute. That's when I know I don't go heavy long. I had a 1 hour time frame going. Let's see. Still didn't lose the 21-day moving average, but it's getting dang close. And there you go. And we're not going to give back our gains. We made massive gains this weekend. Shout out to everybody that traded with the lifer. And that's why I do what I can do. People take the weekends off. People take time off. And you never know when Bitcoin's going to pump. And the second you decide you're not going to pay attention, it's going to pump. I've learned that lesson. So it's sad. I'm like a doctor on call. I always check that beeper. And that beeper is me checking the price of Bitcoin, going over it, looking at my charts. I just keep my computer on at a stand-up desk. I walk into the room. You don't have to see this. Once you have a desk with a seat, it kind of makes it think you have to go into the room. You have to get into office mode. But when you have a stand-up desk, it's like walking by. You ever walk by a desk? You're ever at the airport and you just stand at the rental car spot and you lean and you're like, hey, can I get a rental car? Oh yeah, I want to blah blah blah. Yeah, thank you so much. And you're just waiting. That's what it feels like. You're just you're not going to be there too long. You're getting your information. Stand-up desk is the same thing. It gives you this freedom. It feels like you're just popping in, popping right out. And I'm telling you right now, so I just leave everything up at my stand-up desk. I go to work. I do my thing. And it works. See what I'm saying? It works. So, yeah, we could have shorted back to the 21-day moving average. That's the plan. I usually don't do that. We were longing all last night until I fell asleep. So, I could have shorted maybe at 3 in the morning. Still, you never know. This could bounce. We just got actually a bounce there. You never know. This could bounce. We could be pumping 126 and everyone's like, damn, how did Sam do it again? You just got to, we'll see. I'm more bearish than bullish. We got to get back above the 200 moving average. How did this call here go on the nasty NASDAQ? Oh, we lost the call immediately. Dang. I lost that trade for 158. Dang. So now I'm 14. I'm 12 for 16. I've lost 4 trades in the NASDAQ. What's that all about? They play with. Well, I shouldn't trade Mondays, I guess. I learned my lesson, but it looked like it was going to pump, man. Looks like I did get the pump. I should have just gotten out. I didn't pay attention. I was up nicely there. We're touching the 21 now, above the 200 moving average. Wait, how did I get stopped out? Because I'm confused. I would have sworn I traded this flag here, and I would have just got in here with a stop loss right there. Why would I have got stopped out of that? 928. Just doesn't make sense, right? this is the trade right here. Anyway, maybe something just, I didn't have it correct. I was moving fast. Something wasn't right there because the stop loss should be below the 200 moving average. So I shouldn't have been stopped out at 9 or, yeah, I don't know. Anyway. That looks good to me too on the NASDAQ. Now I hesitate and it'll hit. See, like it's trading is tough. It's a game of constant motion. See, bots, they don't really stress. They just go. That's why they win, because they don't have to see. Human beings, every once in a while, we hesitate, and that's the one time that could complete the P&L and the risk management. But, like, so I've learned, like, you've got to be consistent or it's not going to happen. Just not going to happen, right? So same thing there. Like, this would be, you know, we would get out 22,900, right? Yeah, 902. That would make sense. I mean, there's the model. It's touching the 21. It's in a flag. It's above the 200. It's just Monday, man. Monday has me stressed. I'm like, man. Scared money don't make more money, though. And I love this model. I mean, that's how it pumps. I would see it pump in an hour and be like, ah, dang, I knew it was going to pump. It said it was going to. You know, by my system, there's over an 80% chance that's going to rip by what I backtested in my life, but... So do I take the trade? I got to think about it too. I'm on lack of sleep. I'm a bit tired. It's Monday. I could let it settle and not overtrade. I lose 2 in a row too and get sniped. I mean, I just love where it's at. It's a known pattern for me that plays out a lot. So now I'm just wondering, do I go, you know, Mondays stress me out that much. That's why, because a lot of times it doesn't play out for me on a Monday, right? And I know that. So I'm like, but I like the setup. I like us getting a little lower too. Making it a little more enticing here for price action. Oh, the wonder. Hold on. I'm using my, this is how I trade. I sit and I'm like, I go over the options. How's the 5 minute? That's a little far away from the 21. So is the 1 hour, right? So 1 hour is a little sketchy. But it does look like we could get the scalp, possibly. Huh. Let me give it a couple more minutes. A couple more minutes. We'll come back. This is getting juicy. They're going after the stops now. Hey, we lost the 200 moving average on the 1 minute, so it's not like it's all saucy. You know, it's or all gravy. The bot's even underwater now. The bot likes it, though. The bot will mitigate its way right out of there somehow, some way. Like it always does. It actually likes this. It's like this is where like it makes the most money when we dump. It's pretty awesome. Let's take a look at what's happening here to these altcoins and see what's happening on the bubbles. So they're taking a bit of a move, but SWI up 11%. Algo up. Uni, IOTA, XRP. But, you know, the overall market taking a little bit of that Monday hit after Bitcoin pumped all weekend. And a lot of altcoins did too as well. We got a nice bit of movement. That 4-hour time frame starting to be progressive. I would be using that time frame the most. That's the time frame that makes the most sense to me. All right. So if we dump, where do we go? Well, let's talk about it. Let's go over the bearish scenarios for Bitcoin. Let's not just be all one way and be like, oh, it has to be. No. Anything could happen here for BTC. And let's talk about it. So the 4-hour time frame, we could come all the way back to that 21-day moving average. We could be making a shoulder ahead, a right shoulder. Looks kind of likely. You could pull a Fibonacci here too. That was an insane blow off top. Just a little too much. Even I start drinking the Kool-Aid towards the end. I'm like, you never know. Because you don't know. Each time I'm making a long, I'm like, this is crazy. I shouldn't be long now. And they flatten the shorts and they flatten the shorts. That's how I was able to make the money I made last night. So I can afford to play games here today on the stream. It feels like that's been how it's been, though. I've been making thousands of dollars in the live, overnight, and people, and you can see it. I'm not, I show my trades to everybody off. And so if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. It is what it is. I just, I'm not losing thousands of dollars. So what I do is I come back on, I'm like, you know what? I know I'm overly bullish, but I've been doing this each time. Like last night, I think I did 300 for 1,000. I thought it was going to take its while. Next thing you know, a minute later, it hit the target. I had no clue it was going to be that fast. It was pretty crazy, right? So digital asset Grayscale confidently files for IPO in the US. That's a big deal too as well. And Tether sponsors cybersecurity hackathon in Thailand. Tether throwing it down, right? Capitol Hill intensifies crypto legislation with major bills. U.S. Congress addresses crypto bills shaping regulatory future. Key legislation impacts market stablecoins, and industry leaders discuss market compliance. It's coming, right? And how everything's going to be coming together in this new global financial system. It's only a matter of time. We take a look at CHRP. This thing boomed to the upside. It's hot right now. Everything pulling back, but that's good. A dip now. And for the altcoins, however this interacts with the 21, I don't know how it's going to happen. I have no clue. Doesn't really matter to me. It matters when it hits the 21-day moving average, see? I'd watch CHRP pretty closely because this thing's on a tear and it might continue to flag out. So you watch things that are pumping and see if there's a pump left in them for a swing. Turbo. We went over Turbo many times. People asked me about it. I said I could see Turbo breaking out, headed to 0088, and it's almost halfway there now, bouncing off the 618 golden pocket. Everything was in this cup and handle. We went over this. I said every coin's in the cup and handle on the 3-day chart. You just got to find your fancy. And it was what it was. Like, it doesn't matter. I bet HOSKY did it. HOSKY, a little bit of a pump there from the lows. If you go to the smaller time frame, does it have it? No, but it crossed that 200 moving average, touching the 21 when it was above the 4-hour 200. The 21 came in with a flag. See? I just saw, it's simple. Seed is doing damage. Let's take a look at Deep Book Protocol and see what happened to Deep Book on MEXC. Yeah, Deep Book started to get the pump with SWE too, and that's another one that's in that cup and handle on that 3-day chart. And you just, I have faith that it will be a ride of a lifetime, but we'll just wait for our next big move here to the upside. So, no stress. Just And I own Deep Book Protocol in my portfolio. I own some DEGEN in the portfolio. Cup and handle. DEGEN looks a little hit up. The coins, And you take a look at coin, right? Coin's been booming to the upside. I think it's an all-time high. Yeah, look, the last time we looked at it, we saw that inverted head and shoulder. It definitely broke out. And now it's in a bit of a flag here, too, on the 3-day chart. The daily looking like it's about to explode. So coin. Everyone sees Bitcoin ripping and they're like, well, coin, right? So it goes hand in hand. Coin looks like it could break out of a rising wedge on the daily. Similar to how the NASDAQ and the S&P just did recently. The target is 557 for coin. That's Coinbase stock, in case you weren't sure on what I'm talking about when I mentioned coin. Absolutely ripping, damage up, 559, ready to rip. Looking interesting. Wow. Shout out to everybody here on the chat. How is the chat doing? Get my energy up with the chat. Let's fly, baby. Let's fly. I was up till 3 in the morning doing what I can to keep it cooking. What's cooking lifer? How about them Bitcoin gains? Who made gains with the lifer in the trading group this weekend? Who watched the streams and didn't give up on the weekend just because it was the weekend in the summer? Who stayed pushing no matter what? Put your hand up. Put a 333. If you took the weekend off, it's okay. I love you. It's okay, no matter what. We love you, I'm a savage, though. I got too many things going on. I got to keep it moving. I don't have the luxury of a day off because I got a lot of people that depend on me, and I got to keep it going. So it is what it is. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Looks like we might be at a bottom on the 1 minute. Okay. No one grinds harder. Yeah, this is a smoothie with Greek yogurt. He said 333 worked a 12-hour shift and still got on those longs. Made more money than my week's paycheck last night. I love it. I was fiberglassing my bot this weekend. Me too. Making sure, or my boat. I think you meant boat. Funny. It'd be funny if you said that as a joke, like you were fiberglassing your bot. I took that. That's hilarious. Lifer, what's the address for the Discord? Go to cryptolifer.com and it will link you up to the Discord and find out exactly what you need. Feed that brain. Amen. XRP bouncing off the 15-minute. So are altcoins about to continue to pump? Is it altcoin season? That's what everyone comes here to. No, they want to make those gains. Well, Bitcoin dominance falling off. Looks like it could continue to go to the downside, and that's exactly what you want to see. So look at this. We have ourselves a bit of a flag here, right? And this flag could go further to the downside for sure. And that's what we want to see. We want to see Bitcoin dominance continue. If it rips back up, crosses that 200, then you know it's not altcoin season again. If this starts to go sideways and drop, we're in the money. Let's take a look at Tether dominance too and make sure Tether dominance also wants to collapse. Look at this. We called this head and shoulder to the downside. It did that. Then it made a bear flag. Nobody wants to be in Tether, but at one point, there's always going to be that little bit of a bounce here. So does it do something like this? And then continue lower? That's what we were looking for. But there could be a little bit of a bounce back right now. As Bitcoin falls back, people jump back into Tether. But it looks most of that money is going to flow to the altcoin. So far, so good. Yeah. I don't know why, but I see DEGEN listed on XC Solana repeating a good run. This is the start. I agree with you. Pump is a nice buy here for a trade, methinks. So sorry. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. And the weekend took the man. I thought it was just going to be a regular weekend. We started trading. I traded till 2:30 in the morning last night. Bitcoin holding 121,000. BOOKMAP suggesting that we go lower, all the way to $114,500, $115,000. And that makes sense. Nice little dump here for Bitcoin. Hit a beautiful top. That'd be a great place for people to short, start a short, get on in. And again, we kept pumping and pumping. Eventually, just not going to happen. I work all night to get ahead while everyone else is asleep. Always trading, work on my own business during the day. I sleep 2 to 3 hours a day anymore. It's hard, but big dreams inbound. Shout out to Mr. Flawless. Every once in a while, you just got to I do a lot of that. And then, what I do is like once a week, I have a night where I just crash at 10 o'clock. And I do get a nice long sleep. I got a boat, live trade on the water now that you're in Florida. I'm not in Florida. I'm in a different location. I'm north of Florida right now in an undisclosed location. I won't say where I'm at, but it's awesome. I'll be back in Florida in about a month's time. Exactly 1 month from now, I should be back in Florida. Only I'm out of time, So, May alts pump. Yeah, see, we would like to see. That's how you know it's alt season. So let's take a look at BTC ETH. That's also going to give us some structure, or ETHBTC, sorry. Let's take a look at that. Really good sign. See the bounce? See how it's getting tight? We want to see kind of sideways consolidation here for a while. This is exactly what we want to see. And then a big breakout for the altcoins. It suggests somewhere by August 1st is when this will be ready. Somewhere between the 25th of July and the 2nd of August. Looks like alt season would be ready to rock, because then we would get the breakout on ETH Bitcoin. If ETH Bitcoin's breaking out, then what? What does that mean? I mean, it means that more people are buying more Ethereum than Bitcoin. They're getting in, they're speculating. That can only pump you further to the upside. So, right? August is the hottest month, baby. I'll be back in Florida in less than a month. Yep. Yeah, live from the secret layer. Yep. Exactly. Hey, Lifer, doing such a great job, and there are 1,600 people here. Hit the likes. Shout out to all the beautiful people here. It's amazing we have that many people here on the live. Almost 1,700 people here on the live stream. Chat revenue booming. My people, I love you. Thank you for the $11 in chat revenue. You're absolutely special. And thank you for the ability to be alive. Like, today is a blessing. I woke up, first thing I said is, thank you, dear Lord, for the use of my legs. I may walk to the bathroom. May I have a wonderful day. May you bless me with just, light, kindness, and gratitude throughout my day. May I do the right thing by my wife, by my kids. May I just be a good man today, no matter what happens, May I keep it under my breath no matter what I want. You know what I mean? Life is beautiful. Life is special. And right now I have a 1-year-old. She just turned 1. She's absolutely gorgeous and so nice to be around. She's a sweetie. She smiles. She laughs. And I mean, if that doesn't make you happy, and so I want to remember these days for the rest of my life. And I want to remember that I was in a good mood, that I was a great dad, that I had a good time. And you too. To all the dads out there, stay awesome. Stay amazing. Your kids love you. You're the cornerstone of the entire family. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to say anything about women or women are the cornerstone of the entire family. What am I saying? How dare I say anything of any? But men, you have a huge role in the family, and so do the women. We both do. We meet together for an amazing. We complete the family. But just know how big of a role you do have, and know that everything you do, your kids are watching, and you're setting the standard in the house for especially your girls. They're gonna look for men that act like you. Set the standard. I dress nice every single day. My daughters see me take it seriously. Hopefully they'll find, you never know. The best I could do is hopefully they find a man as put together, But it looks as put together as I, But you know what I'm saying? Hey, up till 3 a.m, trading all night. They're like, who's that guy? That's a dad over there? Hey, that guy doesn't even sleep. What is he doing over here? Anyway, it's been an amazing run. Shout out to everybody here. And we should just all, gratitude, My daughter did say mom is king. Isn't that crazy? She would not budge for me. So things starting to look good. I like this inverted, shoulder, head, shoulder, complex inverted head and shoulder here for Ethereum Bitcoin. Get us back inside that groove to the upside. Things are doing damage. I keep watching this DJI 6930. I'm about to plow into here and become part of the family. This thing looks like it's about to boom. 150% gains coming out of DJI 5930. Let's take a look at Cardano, XRP, and IO, USDT. The super chat. Shout out to Lakochi Coker, Rave Song Records. Art Millionaires made it the bottom of the bull run when acquiring all the coins at the lowest is the idea. Yes, smart, yeah, exactly. And we loaded up on Bitcoin back at 19,000. Look, that's up 110K now, like almost. 113K or something, or 106K or something. It's insane. We got it in at 84,002 as well, and kept loading up on Bitcoin. These are the days to be alive when 100K just gets so far away. So this could be the next SPX 6900. We found it when it was at $660,000 market cap. It's over an 18x at this point. It's about a 27x, 28x. It's insane. I put it out right here when it was at 004. So it's about a little over a 4x right now too from that point. So, and it looks like it may be even just great to scalp for more. Possibly 126% gains coming. If it can continue to consolidate in the manner that it's going in. DJI 6930. I don't own any yet. It doesn't matter to me whether you buy it or not. I'm thinking of getting it in though. I think it looks hot. The TA just looks nice to me. I like to share good TA. I'm a nice guy. That's it. There's nothing like, I get nothing out of that. There's no referral link. There's nothing. I don't work with Dex Greener. You know what I mean? I get nothing. You buy that. It could go up or down too. You never know. So I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. Please get yourself a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence before getting into any project, coin, or trade. All right. Excuse me, voice chat was absolutely awful. One that aren't made in the bear market when prices are the highest level. What is that? Excuse me, voice chat was what? Made in the bottom. I don't know what he's saying. God bless you, man. I don't know what's going on. We haven't all survived, and now it's time for us to bask in the greatness. Remember, take profits and don't be greedy. I mean, yeah. I mean, anything is possible, right? Just wanted to see one thing about the processing here. Yep, strong tone. All right, all seems right. All seems okay. The 99 was an amazing place to be this weekend. Thank you. Can we also check out MIN? Is that min swap? I think that would be with Cardano. All right, I think you're right, but let's take a look here. I got to look at Cardano, XRP, and IO. Cardano, XRP, and IO. Let's take a look at XRPZ on MEXCZ. So wow, the last time I put it out was this flag was about to break out, and it did, right? Entry here. I actually put out XRP on the daily, on the bigger time frame. Let's take a look. XRP. I know I have a setup for it. I'm like, don't fail me now. There it is right there. So I put out XRP right there at 213. The thing is ripping to 298. You'd be in massive gains right now had you taken this trade. It never hit the stop loss either. This was a beautiful trade. I said it's getting tight. That's where I like to enter, tight moving averages. I showed you how it's an Adam and Eve double bottom, right? It looks like an Adam and Eve right there that was going to break out. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. This thing's headed to 340, and here we go. XRP ripping to the upside. Shout out to anyone that took the call. Stop loss can be basically moved to break even at this point. That's a risk-free trade. Congratulations to anybody that took that trade. It was basically a 6-to-1 risk-reward ratio too. Like, I see it going all the way to $5 if you can hang, but 340 is a beautiful place. So anyway, you do whatever makes you happy. Here's another beautiful trade given by the lifer, positioned perfectly and posted in the trading group. Right? You don't have to be a rocket science, but you do have to be consistent. I will teach you how to be consistent. You can learn all you want. You can learn all the TA you want. If you can't show up consistently, the TA won't do anything for you. Think about it. It only works for the people that use it all the time. So look, this looks just like XRP. It's in that Adam and Eve double bottom that I just showed you. It's like a little bit behind. So this looks like it's going to follow. So I see a move for Cardano. And I've been talking about Cardano breaking out of this falling wedge near the 786 and headed up to $1.58. When it's $1.58, don't go crying. It's going to be, for the people that had the guts and got in, this thing could pump. So again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say you do should be taking this financial advice, but this is where I get in. And I hold boatloads of Cardano. I don't need to buy any right now, but I like where that's at. And I like to call it up to 157. That's where it looks like it's likely going to. IO, USDT. Let's take a look at IO. This thing's at the bottom of the bottom. So I don't know what's up with it. I kind of remember this back in the day. We stopped trading it for a while. It's slightly, it's in that giant cup and handle like everything is in. That slight higher low, slightly, and breaking out. You look at your 1 hour, your 4 hour. It's above that 200. Then right? There it is. Almost everything is in the same flag. We talked about it last night, right? So you get that little, so it's an aggressive entry is right now on the altcoins. Because you don't know if it's going to continue to dump in an M and continue to flow, or if it will bounce off the bottom of the channel. If it bounces, you got the best price though. So that's why I call it the aggressive entry. The soft entry, the safe entry, is you wait for the bounce. It goes a little sideways, then you execute somewhere here. And that's kind of that's where it all makes sense. So it looks good to me on the 4 hour time frame. I just want to see that bounce. So that's where I would strut. I put my little alerts. See, I have those subtle nuances where I want to see something, and if I get it, then I trade it. If I don't, then I don't trade it. That's what alerts are for. That's why people need to start using alerts more than they realize, right? Raven coin looked like it was going to pump. I bet it did. Same thing, though. This was below the 4 hour 200. So this is kind of doing that same thing, but it's below. Here it is, too. So, like, if Bitcoin gets the bounce or it stabilizes somehow, the altcoins will bounce. They'll be all right. Ethereum as well. Raven coin. I don't know if you remember that had something to do with Patrick Byrne overstock. This thing was kind of cool when it first came out. You could mine it. I believe it was a fork of Bitcoin. Might only be 21 million. Let me double check that. But I could be talking, I'm pretty sure though. And what's hot right now too, you got, just stable coins really. Nothing too crazy. KuCoin token, Gate.io, Toncoin. ETH over 3,000, up 19% on the week. Absolutely beautiful. Solana up 9% on the week. So you see Ethereum beating up on Solana, even though it's got a bigger price. And that looks like it's going to continue a bit there, which is interesting. You're like, how is that possible, right? And, you know, how is Ethereum going to beat up on Sol? But it did. SUI, really the big winner at 389, though. I don't think anything tops SUI as SUI continues to pump. That's why that deep book protocol, that on the low. If you do what everyone else is doing, then you can't win like everybody else. Not everybody else is winning. So you got to do something different, right? Makes sense. So Bitcoin could definitely bounce off this 21-day moving average. The whole market's looking for a bounce. You can kind of see it. You know, dips are for buying. Could be one of the best dips. And a lot of people think that too now. They're like, I might as well. See, what happens to bull runs is the price action goes way further than people think. So then when it comes down, they're afraid they'll never get it where they should have waited every time. And all the people that kept waiting eventually just like get defeated from waiting. Like, I can't wait anymore. So they attack. Shout out to all the new people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. You just found out about Bitcoin. You clicked on the link. You got here by the YouTube algorithm. You're here in the summer. You're wondering what's happening. You realize not many people are paying attention, but you want in on cryptocurrency. My name's Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer. Thank you for being here. And I have a trading group. I go over live trades all the time. I do a bunch of stuff when it comes to crypto. If you want to be here, we also look at everything in the market from the NASDAQ beyond. I never made that NASDAQ trade. It looks like it did pump a little bit. This thing could continue to break out of a rising wedge here to the upside. So I would have been in the money on that entry at 22.9068 on 30 pips there, right? It may continue. Let's extend it a little bit here. Now that we have a higher trajectory, the NASDAQ. Now you can't get as close to the 200 moving average. See, that's why that execution there is key. It provides the lowest risk entry. And, you know, scared money don't make money. There could be this nice pump now and I miss out. It is what it is. I'll wait for my next one. Mondays just aren't my thing. I don't want to watch myself get chewed up because it was a Monday, so I decided to chill. Which was rare, right? Maybe it's my lack of sleep that has me inclined. But good discipline, right? I think so. You're like, oh, Sammy, open the trade. Stop being a... I know. Hey. OMNI, can you check out OMNI on the lower time frames? We'll take a look at OMNI. Turbo to the moon, God bless you. Super chat, Min, USDT, and OMNI. April's lows with a chance to stack. Buy the dip, buy the fear, sell the greed, sell the spike, pay the trader. Thank you, Sam. Awesome TA, brother. God bless you. Hey, God bless you. Do you share all your trades at the trading group? I'm considering to join. Can you give it some more details on how it works, please? I don't want to shill too long, but it's a Discord, all right? So you would jump into Discord, and we are working on something else in the back end right now, but you would jump into Discord, and you see lifer charts and video updates. I'm giving a video update every morning and every night for Bitcoin with my key insights of where I believe the market's going to go, whether I'm going to trade it or not. I'll say I'm in a trade tonight. Here's what I'm doing. I live trade all night in the group. Like I'm in here, I'm in this flag, I'm out the flag. I show you my actual returns in and out. I'm giving you my altcoin setups. Everything I'm seeing in the altcoin market constantly. Look at this. These are 10, 20 setups a day right now, pumping them out. We have the elite traders who also go through all the altcoin setups. And we're giving you guys altcoin setups left and right all the time. Like this beautiful setup for Plume that boomed out the flag to the upside exactly like it was supposed to. Right? So you'll see stuff like this over and over again. It's awesome. This is awesome. Like, you know, and this is getting, you know, right now, look, 712. So there's awesome stuff in here constantly being updated. I'm grinding all the time as well. I do NASDAQ futures updates. On top of that, I do a weekly screen share every single week where I go over my whole portfolio, talk about mentality, talk about the ups and downs of trading, talk about mentality of just becoming a, you know, getting a mindset, that multimillionaire mindset. Token metrics, I go through different coins and talk about the coins that they're searching. I do my own analysis on them too, and we go through that. It's amazing. Like there's so much information. Exchange announcements, whale alerts. Like this tells you when new coins hit exchanges. Like today, let's see, pump.com has been listed on Ascendex. It's been listed on KuCoin. And we can start seeing, okay, pump's coming. You get it? Charpunk, you ever heard about it? Sentinel, been listed on MEXC. Yesterday, 355. Charpunk.com, been listed, you know, ever heard of that? CUSD? Fun fair, right? You gotta, I'm just saying, so like, you may, you know, I found a coin that no one, Agenda 47, A47. I found a coin one time nobody knew about, Resolve. Cross, AIN, like you wouldn't, you know, hyper liquid. Then so I'm finding coins all the time. And what you're going to find in the Discord is you're going to find, number one, you're going to learn about new coins constantly. So you're going to be privy to new stuff. Like we found DJI 6930 dang early. And I'm doing my assessment on whether I think something's hot or not too as well. On top of that, so I think it's an amazing place. On top of that, I didn't even finish. That's why it's like hard for me to even get into the Discord because it's a full-blown shill. But we have a content directory where I teach you here. This teaches you all the time frames of all the different markets, the trading sessions, when they begin and end by Eastern Standard Time, from Asia to London to Bitcoin. Okay. And, so there you have that, right? Bang. Types of candlesticks, all that. And then even more, we have pattern guides, complex, double bottoms, Fibonacci, support or resistance. Like that's $3,000 course that people would basically charge you. That's all free right there, waiting for you. So the Discord is just a huge, huge, huge resource, I believe. For $99 a month, it's like, I believe I'm giving you well over $99 a month. I can even prove it that like monetarily, it's amazing. So anyway, if you really want to take yourself seriously as a trader, you want to take it to the next level, you're ready to go, then yeah, the Discord is a place for serious people that take their lives seriously and they really want to progress. If you want to play games, you're half in, you're half out, it may not be the place for you. You know what I'm saying? But if you're ready to go and you really want to grind with people that are grinding, you're a high frequency individual, you're sick of like kind of what you've been around, you've been in other trading groups that just doesn't seem to vibe, you want a place that stimulates you mentally, get you going, discipline, and it's like a family, well, join the trading group. Jump on in, become a crypto lifer today. So many people do, and it changes their lives. So this looks good to me. I like this, Min. It looks really nice. 3-to-1 risk reward ratio with the stop way below the beginning of the flag. Yeah, I put an alert on this. This looks good to me. Set alerts on Min. And I believe it's Min swap, right? Which is the Cardano swap. I could be wrong, though. I'm probably way off. Let's find out. I don't know every single coin, so let me see what Min is. And if you don't know what something is, you go to CoinMarketCap, you can type in Min. You should be able to find it. Not Cayman. Min. Yeah, Min swap. I'm spot on right there, right? And make sure it's the same price. Sometimes there are two tickers, 0.02. Make sure whatever you're looking at is 0.02. And it's at 0.02. So that's Min swap. If Cardano starts to rip, Min swap rips, right? The memes are going to start flying, and Min swap's going to take some of that. This is the main swap for Cardano. So if you do get a pump in anything, Mim swap will see a move. So I'd set alerts on Mim swap for sure. Shout out to anyone who gave us Min. And again, some days I'm tired. I go up, and the people in my community give us the hot, awesome calls, everyone. This is a huge community. Thousands of people. About to hit 100,000 subscribers, and we've been streaming every single day for years. So it's a very strong knit group of people. You're going to be in something. This is a really different online community than anything I've ever been a part of. So, hi, I'm from Pinex. What do you think about the Gridbot trading? I'm looking for collaboration, and I love your channel. Hey, man, I love you too. Thank you so much. Email my team. I don't know, man. It's I don't want to be rude, but I joined the trading group because I saw myself in the lifers. I knew that we were all part of something greater. If you feel that, then you better join up. Shout out to Mr. Butters Trading. God bless you. Thank you. And thank you for being a part of something bigger than yourself, man. I appreciate that. I've immersed myself in the group, and it's been an amazing experience. So, wow, this looks like a little bit of a bull flag here, too, that could continue to the upside. I like what I'm seeing on this little flag for Bitcoin. I mean, for the NASDAQ. Sorry, I always say Bitcoin, so it's simple to me to do. For Bitcoin, for NASDAQ. Dang, man. Trading ain't easy. False move Monday. LaGrange, please. That's crazy. I used to live off LaGrange. That's weird. Vader, nice, cup and handy. Interesting. And Bitcoin seems to be hemorrhaging here. 120,500. And it makes sense. It's coming back to the 21-day moving average. There's probably people shorting off the sauce right now, Let me see here what's happening back to BTC. Yeah, and the bot The pot's going to love to mitigate that one. So, yeah, now we're losing this. Once you lose that, you have to say, okay, that you're probably going to come to the 2-hour. You know, you hit a top. After you top, you bearish div and you bounce down. It just is what it is. It's okay to lose trades if you chase the top. Just make sure you're not chasing the top with all your money. That's all. How's your DEGEN? It's all right. Chug that wine nice and early. I know, right? I would never do that. I don't drink alcohol. Alcohol and me don't vibe. It makes me sick. Be honest, the beer gives me diarrhea, man. Every time I drink beer, I swear I got runs, man. And I kept doing it anyway. My body just... It was 2021 or 2020. I believe it was 2021, which is almost 4 years ago now. And I had a sip of wine at Thanksgiving. And I remember reading all the GMO stuff and all the stuff in the wines, and you don't even know what you're drinking. And I said, what am I doing, man? I don't need this stuff in my life. I got a headache. I felt funny, and I just said, you know, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. And I threw the alcohol down, and somehow the next time it came around, I said no. And the next time it came around, I said no. And then a year went by. Then I told my wife to her face, like, I don't drink anymore. And for years, you know, I grew up Irish. She didn't drink. And she would always see me say, but it's part of my culture. I just do what people, you know, don't bother me. I always had an excuse, you know what I mean? And I finally just said I'm done. And it's been, honestly, I'm healthier. I feel better. And I wasn't even the biggest drunk in the world, but now it's just out of my life. You know, I don't share beers with people. I don't end up at the bar late because I had too many drinks. I don't have to worry about who's going to drive me home because I had too many drinks in my car, you know. I don't have to say the wrong thing to the person at the wrong time. I'm in control 90% of the time, right? 99, like, and it's a better life. You know, and I'm not trying to say, you know, yeah. And I'm not trying to say you can't drink. I'm not hating on anyone else. I'm just telling my story with alcohol, right, for whatever reason. So, look, Bitcoin looks like it's going to tump down to the 200 moving average on the 15-minute time frame. That's somewhere about $119,000. So, yeah, the dream is kind of done. There was a chance that we could have hit, but now it's looking pretty sloppy here. And we knew when the 1 minute lost the 200 moving average, you know. My system is not too long until we get back above that. I longed here. It looked all right. Things were looking like we could get the move. I trusted the 1 hour time frame. Should not have. It's okay. It's okay. We are getting oversold. Could we get the bounce? Slight bullish divergence and find that daily bottom? To me, I see a slanted head and shoulder that could give us more downside. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline. Look for that to dump even more. So, yeah, watch your 15-minute and the 200 moving average. Once you start losing moving averages, specifically the 200, you start going towards more. So when you lose the 5-minute 200, you go towards the 7-minute 200. Once you lose the 7, which you're on right now, if you lose the 7, you'll go to the 15-minute. I've backtested this for years, and I've watched the successive movement as price moved through multiple time frames and challenged each successive 200 moving average. And I've watched this as price action collapses, and this is just kind of how it happens. A massive pump, and then you always get these pullbacks. And again, the 4-hour back to the 21-day moving average. So you watch the 4-hour come back to the 21. While you watch the other smaller price actions lose their 200 moving averages in succession. It's a simple plan. It's pretty beautiful. And then you look at BOOKMAP, and BOOKMAP says, yeah, we could go to 115,000. So don't be surprised we take a beating today down to 115,000. Everyone sits there like, we were just up so high. What happened? Yeah, my father was like yours, an iron worker. He was a hard worker, but a big drinker. That veered me away from not wanting to drink 100%. A lot of iron workers were big drinkers. I'm 20 years sober from being an alcoholic. Best decision I've ever made. God bless you, man. 2 years. Wow. Let's take a look at OMNI, a super chat that came in. So now it looks like Bitcoin's slightly going to break down to the 200, the 21 there. There is some bearish divergence. It looked bullish this morning. If we could have held above this and made this flag, there was a chance. But, you know, it wasn't always the 1 minute. I'm getting hiccups now. The 1 minute was playing. With the 200, with the 200 moving average. And so once the 1 minute had lost the 200, we knew that we were going to struggle with price action. It wasn't going to be perfect. But, man, we were up trading all night last night. Shout out to everyone that made gains. I'm 1 year sober from prescription painkillers. I was 30M. Oh, my gosh. Shout out to Crypto Grandpa. God bless you, man. If Bitcoin goes back to 115K, altcoins to -0. Sol is doing the dance. This could be the time that Bitcoin dips, but altcoins do not. That's the thing. We may get lucky here. Let's look at SOLBTC. That could be another tell here. We'd like to see Solana hold against Bitcoin. Hold nicely. Possibly make a bit of an inverted head and shoulder here. Shoulder, head, right shoulder to the upside. And can it break back above 0.017,583? That's the key level that we're looking for here for Bitcoin. So, I don't know. Sol Bitcoin doesn't look amazing. It looks like it could struggle too. Bit of a double bottom, but yeah. So, if that was going to rip against it, you would say, hey, we have some real alt season, but. And you always take profits on big surges. If I was in a huge leverage trade, something happened, and I sold all my leverage trades, I didn't play games. I use those surges to make gains, and I move on. I like how I do things here. So let's take a look at the 1 hour time frame here for SEI. SEI. To me, inside of a nice little flag, right? And that thing looks like it could bounce and moon. Then we got this flag here that could do damage. And we're looking at 46. So, wow, I like what I'm seeing for SEI. So, there's going to be strong coins, and there's going to be coins. SEI is going to be strong. You can see if the higher low getting tight. I like it. So I'm not, see what happens is this is what I've learned again too. Bitcoin pumps, pulls back, hurts altcoins, pumps, pull. Then there's a change when things flip. Then Bitcoin starts to pull back and everyone gets freaked out, and that's the time to go hard on the alts, and they don't, because every time they pull back and they miss out. I've been through all of this, so you got to know when to pivot, and there's key moments. Like crypto is way harder than people talk about. They act like it's like this, but it's the psychological, unless you're just going to hold and forget about it, which is really like the way to get around it all, because then you won't be pushed and pulled. But if you're going to attempt to swing trade, try to get in at the right places and swing, you're going to have to really be locked in with your emotions, because your emotions will ruin it all for you at the perfect time. Either not put you in the trade out of fear, or stop you from selling out of fear, or out of greed, thinking there could be more when you should be closing out. Watch SEI. I got an alert here. I'd like it to get tight. I wouldn't be surprised if it pumps to 46. One of my favorite coins in the game, one of my bigger positions, and I've been believing in SEI for a long time. Never gave up on her. My sweetie pie, SEI, right? Massive 1,500 Bitcoin node right above the price action on BOOKMAP. Interesting. So wow, you people are awesome. We've had an awesome live stream. Really interactive, 1,700 people, one of the bigger streams in a while. The price of Bitcoin really getting people back in action here. Google searching Bitcoin, finding out what's happening. Hit that like, each and every one of you. If you're into cryptocurrency, that like button will just propel the stream around the world, help more people find out about crypto, help more people find out about me. So thank you so much for the love. I greatly appreciate it. It's awesome. Thanks to all. There's hope for everyone. Thank God. Shout out to Crypto Grandpa. There really is hope. If you just keep pushing and believe there's hope, there is. You're the opportunity. You create the opportunity. If you shy away from opportunity, believe that there's nothing coming, then guess what? Nothing is. Whether you think you can, whether you think you can't, you're probably right. I love this one statement I'm going to make because it helped me. Because I always had these like inspirational videos, but I needed it to be put into perspective for me. And so, say I was climbing up a mountain, and everyone at the top believed I couldn't do it. But I knew I had the strength, and I knew I had the discipline. Would it matter what people at the top thought? No, I could still climb up, right? It doesn't. What if I didn't think I could, and I was getting tired, and everyone at the top said, you can do it? Now, it might motivate you, but if they thought I could, and I didn't think I could, and I said, no, I can't do it, I don't have it in me. And everyone said I could. Would it matter if they thought I could? No, because, so at the end of the day, people will support you, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying like I'm a mentor, like I needed people to help me and push me, and I found people that gave me the insight and the knowledge. See, you needed skill. What you're looking for right now is a skill. You don't know how to trade. You need the skill to learn how to trade. Once you have that skill, you can apply that to your life. Right? So, yeah, so stock's a little green now. Let's take a look here at what's happening to the nasty Nas. It is flattening out a bit here. It a bit of a flag. And that flag could boom. You know, you're looking for that flag to break out now, possibly. That looks really nice. I mean, that's a bull flag. Dang. Let me take a look at the 5-minute chart, too. Yeah, that's evening out. The stock market looks nice. I mean, that could pump. It's false move Monday. It's got me. But that looks good to me. I'd have to go higher. It's like a deeper trade, you see? So 23,200. That tells me something. Tells me it's Monday. You're tired. Just leave it alone. It's tough. The little engine that could. Yep. That's me. Sammy is the champ, the GOAT, the myth, the legend, the numero uno. Shout out to Vegas Claw. God bless you. Thank you so much for the love. Shout out to everybody here on the live. We appreciate you. We love you. And we care about you. Shout out to all the love. Cash, Bitcoin analysis, please. Wow, that's a bit of a spam. That's what we call spam. Yeah, we usually don't do that. I don't want to reward spam, but I do like the coin, so you got me in a bind here. 119,900 is a nice reversal spot. Big, long liquidations there on the Binance heat map. Yeah, exactly. We just crushed back into 3-to-1s. Stop would have to be 22,937, right? I don't believe I'm taking this trade. I'm kind of in the middle here, but that's it. You know, it's a shoulder head and a right shoulder. You see it? Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Dump. Back down. Usually when I don't trade, there's a reason. If I'm all in, it's because it looks good. Trust my instincts here. Trust my subconscious mind. Whatever it tells me to do, I'll do. I'm leaving my emotions aside. I need to be the computer that I built in my brain, nothing else. I've got the data for years, so what do? Well, the data tells me to be careful on a Monday. So I should really just walk away. But it's hard when you see a flag above the 200 like that. That's a beautiful setup. And we did break out. I would have sworn I got in here with a stop loss here. I'd be in profit right now. I'm confused as why I'm not. I would have traded this. I thought I traded this flag right here. Maybe it was a different one that looked just like it. I don't know. So, while they're playing with it right now, this is the 1-minute time frame on the nasty Nas. Could be a shoulder, head, right shoulder too, though. There's the bounce. There's the little bit of a bounce there. There's the bounce, my mateys. There she is. A little bit of a bounce. So you got to win this one, man. Got to be very selective with my trades. Make sure I'm winning every one of them. At least 80% of them. Silver broke through 39, and we just talked about grabbing up some silver on Kinesis. And that thing is doing damage to the upside. Silver. Pretty awesome, man. Let's see. Let's talk about silver here. Silver dollars an ounce, 38. Oh, yeah, but it did pump. Yeah, you're right. It did pump all the way to 39.13 after getting a nasty little pullback there. But, yeah, silver. Nice bounce for silver. Silver's going to be hot. Starting to get kind of it's starting to trend. And they can't surprise the price of silver forever. So that's going to start doing some damage over time. And I'm telling you right now, that's why I'm starting to move some of those USDT profits into silver. I think it's better than sitting them, you know what I mean? And just compounding gains. Like some of the bot profits into Bitcoin, back into silver. That could rip, go back into Bitcoin. See what multiples we can make against Bitcoin on silver. Silver BTC might be an interesting idea too as well. So I'm just, always strategizing, thinking of different ways to utilize that same money to continue to grow. If you keep rolling it back and forth into different assets at the right time, you can take that money and turn it into something huge. It's so crazy, right? The concept of trading. Silver to $100, baby. Imagine that. I just joined Crypto Lifer, but I didn't receive an invitation for the Discord. Could you please help me? Email cryptolifers@gmail.com. and just tell them what's going on. Email cryptolifers with an S at Gmail. Cryptolifers at Gmail. And my team will stand on by and help you and guide you through the process. Okay? Someone will figure it out for you. We will not leave you hanging. I'm in close connection with my whole team. I'll say, hey, someone on the live said this. We need them fix it, and we'll get it done. Sometimes it's user error. They sign into 2 different Discords. They're not linked and stuff like that. But we figure it all out. We've been through it all. We know exactly how to help you. We're well poised, well understood in all this. I mean, that looks good to me. I think I've just... Let me see here. Yeah, 100 for 400. Even better. I took the trade. I took the trade on the NASDAQ. I think I did. Let's just kind of double check here. There we go. I'm in there. And I like how they did it. It looks like similar to BitTinex. You can drag and drop. It's all looking sweet. And so there's the trade right there. 144 for 368. Thought I had it a little differently than that, but that's still going to work for me. 135 for 400. That's good. I'll take it. That's exactly where I'm at. That's a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio right there. That times 3 is 399. A little over, maybe like 405 or something. But how do you trade silver on commodities? What exchanges? You can trade them here on BTC.C. You can also use Kinesis to get in and out of these linked tokens. This token is the Kinesis silver token. And what I did just earlier is I bought about $1,500 worth of this Kinesis token. I now have $37 worth of silver basically linked in through cryptocurrency. So you can basically have yield. You can also get yield back on this token, which is awesome. All right. And so you can learn how to do yield, right? And they're going to explain all this. I'll explain it. You can do it through minting, holding, referring, and also there's velocity and velocity token. It's a pretty interesting system. And I'm going to show you kind of how the ecosystem works as we go through. I am sponsored by Kinesis, cool little place where you can basically have access to gold and silver. I have gold and silver sitting around I haven't used for a long time. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to convert it out of gold, but I can send it them. They can give me the gold token, and I can actually start to create yield off of my gold. Instead of my gold just sitting there collecting dust in some safe somewhere or, wherever it is in a vault, I can actually get access to it and utilize it and actually have it work for me in some type of DeFi protocol. I mean, this is amazing. This basically is the bridge between gold and DeFi. There's been nothing like this this is why I think this is amazing. So I think Kinesis is hot. I think personally it's a really cool project, or I wouldn't deal with them. You see what I'm saying? I only deal with things that I think are cool. So Kinesis, man, pretty interesting. Bitcoin with the dive, about to lose 120,000. And once it goes back to the teens, people are going to say, I told you so, right? That pullback. It's coming, though. After a late night pump like that, pullbacks are happening. And when you get away from the 21-day moving average on the 4-hour time frame, you're likely to revisit. And we talked about the 15-minute headed to the 200 moving average. That's what we're going to see now to the downside, right? And we had this all, I believe, on the Bybit chart. We had it all done with the head and shoulder pattern and all that. Now all I have is these bull patterns, but anyway, we can see how this kind of looked like a head and shoulder. We broke the neckline and it could go further to the downside, something like that, right? And once you lose the 200 moving averages, you can go further down, all the way down to here. And down to here, right? So key levels. CMB Gap, Sammy, give your opinion on Moodang chart, please. Bought 1K ounce of silver at $12. Me too. I bought a lot of silver at $15, $13 back in the day. Still hold ounces of silver. To see it skyrocket like that is amazing. So another one of my investments just absolutely skyrocket. Remember when I bought that kilo of silver on the live? Got it delivered, the big bar. I was talking on the phone. I don't know who remembers that. Hey, we've been through a lot together, guys. So looks like we're going to go to the 200 moving average. Then, if you continue to dump, you'll head all the way to the 200 down here, which could happen. It could happen, but we'd like to see if this could end up being the bounce area, 119. We start to consolidate somewhere in this area. But there's a chance, you know, so we'll see. Do we bounce off 119? We lose that. We go to 118.3. We lose that. We come to 117. We lose that. It's all the way back somewhere down here to 115,009. There's a big node right there and some support. BOOKMAP is screaming 115,000. That's the level that it's saying, hey, that's the huge liquidation. So a lot of people are long down there thinking they could sneak in. They got in super late and they, you know, now they're afraid they can't pull off the trigger. See, I'm out of the long. I got stopped out, right? So I don't need to stress it no more. I don't need to stress no more. Ping me out right there. And so I don't have to trade for the rest of the day. I'll let the chart do its thing. I'll keep this trade open on the NASDAQ and see where it goes. It's looking like the NASDAQ's going to kind of get its head together. Because the NASDAQ didn't have a pump like Bitcoin. Remember that too. So if we get bullish news, the NASDAQ can work. Bitcoin has to find its way here. Right? 200 an ounce for gold. I don't remember that. XRP poised to benefit at Fedwire adopts ISO 2020 upgrade. Yep. I pointed out like 40 years cup and handle on silver to you a couple years ago. Thank you. Yeah. I seen it too, man. Yeah. If you think my brain didn't see the same thing you did after I do this every day, it would be kind of funny, right? I'm not trying to be rude, but I guess that was rude. I don't know, man. Let's take a look at silver. And if you look at it on like the weekly chart, it's what everyone's saying, you know. Shane over here. It's kind of a sloppy one, but it is there. So you got this cup. And then, you know, the traditional market, they use the other secondary cup. I see it as a shoulder, head, right shoulder. You see that? And it broke to the upside. Wow. All-time high back there at $50 in 2011. And then you could also make this uptrend, this downtrend. You see how it broke out? See, it's got this length of the pole here. And just monster movement. I mean, $67 an ounce for silver by 2029. Crazy, right? Hey, it's a good thing that you're entertaining us with airtime. You just keep talking. You're awesome. God bless you, man. Hey, the attention economy. Where the attention flows, the money goes, man. That's how it works. So let's take a look at OMNI and see what's happening here to OMNI. You got to stay fresh. You got to stay amazing. All right? Hey, Loish, I think I'm going to grow a beard. Hey, Chris, go to your... My name's Peter Griffin. That's right. I go to Quahog bars. And I like to watch Crypto Life. Every time I go to the bar, I say, hey, put that YouTube on. I don't give a damn. Shout out to everybody here. OMNI, I don't know what this thing really was or is. I'm not into it. Looks like it got pounded. A lot of people still want to buy the bottoms, though. They think it's hot. Went from 145 all the way to 4. Wow. I mean, it did an amazing move. So you got to give that. So people are like, wait, it went up huge. It is now above the 1 minute, the 1 hour, 200 moving average, the 1 hours. But I don't know. It could pump. Looking a little sketchy the way it's kind of just slowly milking to the side like that. Right? $6.57. $5.49. Can you move, please, to the screen box so we can also see the top of the asset in the frame? No. God bless you, though. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't do what you tell me to do. I fired my boss a long time ago. So we can see the top, the time frame. The time frame's right here. It's right here. It says OMNI, USD, 1 hour. It's right there. It's right there. You'll be okay. You can breathe. You'll be all right. You can see the time. You can see the asset in the time right there, man. Okay. Okay. And usually I have this open where you can see it too. Have no fear. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to breathe. You're going to breathe. There you go. It says OMNI. It says 279. You can see exactly what it is. I just had this actually off. Forgive me. I usually have it on. So you were right. I was wrong. All right. But I have to make people laugh, okay? And so this interaction has to be funny. Can you move, please? The screen. Can you look at Trump coin? Thank you, brother. Shout out to Keep It Real 24/7. God bless you. OMNI looks interesting. It's above the 200 MA. I'd like to see it break out and retest 340 before I got in. I don't think I'm going to touch it. Just looks sketchy to me. I can't explain it, but hey, there does look like there's some movement here. And I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 660. The whole market's looking pretty nice. PENGU is more than a meme coin. Toys, cartoons, and a movie. I think it'll peak around Christmas. Oh, PENGU's hot. And they get them PENGUs in Walmart, right? Or Target, I think. Something like that. PENGU is in this flag. It broke out beautifully. It's in yet another flag. As long as it stays above that 200 moving average on the 15, I don't see how it doesn't continue to pump. People want their PENGU and they want it now. And you also got free PENGU. A lot of do. I have it somewhere. So I never sold that PENGU. 31% gains. I see it going to 37. I called out the last pump. It went further than I called it. So we'll see. But today you were so small. Usually you more big. You're funny, man. Thank you. Usually you're more big, but today you're more small. Hey, I'm smaller today. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, you know what it is? I think you're right. I think I'm a little smaller today. I think I'm a little smaller over here. So, Ferrum Gerlo, what? Family Manifogolia. Hey, I don't know what he's saying, but I think it's right. Hey, can we look at AVAX Semi? Not sure. PENGU 037143 would be that target for PENGU. Where's my PENGU at? I do kind of need to make that a little bigger there. VRL, Node, CHRP, Turbo, running it. Iris, Opal. I looked at Iris too, right? I remember Iris Net not too long ago. Opal, Freedom, HOSKY. HOSKY is like the leading meme for HOSKY and SNEC are the leading memes for Cardano. So if you want to like get in on the Cardano system, you're looking at HOSKY and SNEC. Those are the ones, right? Top of the channel. Short liquidity grab and short jet already. But we need to hit 105. Go Bitcoin. Wow, back to 119,000 for BTC. And it's just the way the cookie crumbles, everybody. Back to the 21-day moving average. And yes, I did not short. I'm not shorting bull runs. Like I ran up all night longing, so I don't have to short. Like let's just keep it calm, cool, and collected. You know, bananas ripping today. That's interesting, right? And back to the 200 moving average. Trust me, that's likely where we're going. And then we went over the key levels to watch for Bitcoin. We could label them nicely if you'd like that price label. Can I see that? The 777. The 777 Speakeasy Lounge. There you go. Established in 1977. I like that. Welcome, Flappers, Jensen. Prohibition ends here. That's pretty good. Hey. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Bitcoin dumping after a massive pump to 123,200 last night. And it lost the 200 moving average on the 1 minute time frame. That's my go-to to not get into too much of a long or to straighten up and cover myself and not take a beat down, right? So my short print, well, yes, it did. God bless you. I shorted rather early. Unfortunately, I'm just looking to break even. I see what you're saying. It's okay. Or rather late, I would say. Yeah. Or I don't know how. Yeah, and look, remember we went over the fact that this was a head and shoulder pattern and it didn't look good? That definitely broke to the downside as suggested. So Bitcoin bearish, back to the 4-hour, 221-day moving average as far as I'm concerned. What are your thoughts on SUPRA token? Have you heard of it? Do you know of it? I knew about SUPRA. Came out. I never really got into the hype. It was never my thing. You know what I mean? I wasn't like a chaser of that. I didn't really do too much research on it. Looked cool. Pumping nice today, above all. So, hey, that's kind of cool. See it doing damage. It was in that flag. Everything else was in, but really tried to plow out of it pretty nicely. Just got a golden cross. One of two things. It booms out this rising wedge or it would flatten out. Flatten out would be nicer for me. You know, rising wedge would make it, you kind of have to chase the pump. See if it can flatten out. If it can flatten out, that looks interesting to me. It does look like it's headed to 007, though. 007 for Supra. Thank you so much for the super chat, Mr. Q, 1983. Hey, God bless you, brother. And let's take a look at the chat and see what's happening in the chat right now. Let's go back to the fan funding. All right. We have Daniel Spooner. God bless you. We have Xavier Lynn. Thank you so much. Yeah. I believe definitely Cardano could hit 80 cents in the short term. Yeah. Kurt Short, blessings XRP, my biggest bag. Shout out to Kurt. God bless you, man. Looking really nice. Headed to $3, it looks like, or more. $4, $5. The 99 was an amazing place to be this weekend. God bless you. Thank you for saying that. And shout out to everybody here. Mad B. Can you check out OMNI? We did. Tiago Fuse, do you share all your trades in the trading group? I'm considering, yeah, jump on in. We talked about it. Hi, I'm from Pionex. Thank you. Sam, how do you trade silver commodities? What exchanges? BTC.C? Hits it, lets you nail it. And I'm also, getting exposure there through Kinesis.money. Kinesis.money home. And you can see how I got exposure now to silver. And I'll keep kind of setting that money into silver until I amass a little boatload. Look at night. 777's there on the Bitcoin. Funny. Always there. So that's exposure right there. Just want to make sure we're touching on all these super chats, making sure we're hitting base here. So it's not too bad. Altcoins aren't bleeding as bad as they could have been, right? Can you look at Trump? We'll look at that and Super Token. So we got to look at Trump Token from Keeping It Real 24/7 and Mr. Q 1983 and JBSD 3RU. We love you all. Thank you so much for the you give. You didn't have to give, but you did. That will come back to each and every one of you tenfold. Now, I don't really hold any more of this one, but it is above the 4-hour 200 moving average. Everything looked good, though. Like, they had it set up in this, way. But it is a symmetrical triangle. They usually do break down, I gotta say. If it can wick back inside, turn into some type of flag, you're looking for some type of falling wedge. You just don't want to lose the 200 moving average. But it does look like we could eventually break out on everything. If this breaks out like everything else, it'll go to 1192 for its next big leg up. And then we'll probably consolidate from there. Shout out to every beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Can you see BOOKMAP Bitcoin is a huge sell and buy? It really just says there's a lot of liquidations at 115,000. So it says if we go anywhere, we go to 115. Now we got a bunch of liquidations, though, for the shorts at 120,006 too. And that's pretty deep red. So anything could happen, but the way I see it, we're losing moving averages. That's just how it works. We're probably I told you where we're going to likely going. You can kind of go from there. You can play it back and watch my bearish update there. But you can see we're going to the 15-minute 200 moving average. We've been falling ever since we looked at that 1 minute head and shoulder here. I told you to be bearish once you lose the 200 moving average on the 1 minute time frame. Right there and right there. Those were two bearish moments. See how the pump happened all last night above the 200? Second you lose the 200 in a major pump, and there's a head and shoulder, it kind of starts telling you what's likely going to happen here. I still took a shot because I'm biased on my bearishness, on my bullishness, and I'll go at it at the last second because you never know. But bang, we're kind of sitting here pretty to the downside here for Bitcoin, and I don't normally short a bull run too hard. That's just not my thing. So was with you all weekend, bro. What a ride. It was an insane ride this weekend. God bless everyone that took it with me to the upside. Everyone, I'm going to jump on out of here. I'm exhausted. I was up all night trading. I will be going through the market, though, and I will not give up on you. But I see key levels that we're likely going to. I wouldn't be surprised we go to 118.5, 118.7, and there is 115.5 would be that next target. These are your areas you're going to be watching for BTC. Don't overtrade. Don't get, don't chase. Let the trades come to you one step at a time. If you don't have the knowledge, demo trade until you feel more comfortable. And I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taking as financial advice. Just push yourself every day. I am a life coach. I can get you going. I watch Sam on my computer and TV. I just liked him with a thumbs up on both. God bless you, Crypto Grandpa. Thank you. Shout out to everybody that hit the like button. Shout out to everybody that shows up for the stream every single day. One of our biggest streams in a while. God bless you all. Thank you so much. I'm very, very grateful. May God bless everybody here on the live. Stay amazing. Stay tuned. And I'll catch you on the next live stream. One thing I do want to say, is I studied a bunch of millionaires, billionaires, people that were successful, even school teachers that do, make 80 grand a year, 60 grand a year, but love what they do. That's success to me. And what did I find out about these successful people? You know what I found out? They all had this same secret to success, something they were doing that made them successful. You know what it was? It was getting started. The secret to success. It's getting started.